Have you ever looked up at a tangle of power lines and seen birds perched upon them, seemingly unfazed? It's a common sight, yet it raises a curious question. Why don't these feathered friends get electrocuted? After all, those lines carry powerful currents of electricity, enough to power entire cities. You wouldn't dare touch one yourself, and for good reason. The answer lies in the fascinating world of electricity and a bit of avian anatomy. Let's delve into the science behind this seemingly death-defying act and uncover the truth about birds and power lines. To understand why birds don't get electrocuted, we need to understand a little about how electricity flows. Electricity is a form of energy that moves through conductive materials, like wires, in a continuous flow. Electricity is always looking for the easiest path to the ground. This is because the ground has a neutral charge, which attracts the electrical current. When a bird sits on a power line, it's only touching one wire. This is crucial because it means the bird is not providing a path for the electricity to reach the ground. Because the bird isn't touching the ground or another wire with a different electrical potential, the circuit remains incomplete. An incomplete circuit means that the electricity cannot flow through the bird. Imagine electricity like water flowing through a pipe. The flow of electricity is similar to the flow of water in that it needs a continuous path to move. If the pipe is continuous, the water flows freely. This is like a complete electrical circuit where the current can move without interruption, but if there's a break in the pipe, the water stops. Similarly, if there's a break in the electrical circuit, the current stops flowing. The bird on the wire is like a break in the pipe. The electricity has nowhere to go. The bird's presence does not complete the circuit. Therefore, the current bypasses the bird entirely, flowing along the wire as if the bird wasn't even there. The bird remains unharmed because it does not interfere with the flow of electricity. This is why birds can sit safely on power lines without getting electrocuted. They are simply not part of the electrical circuit that allows the current to flow to the ground. Now, you might have heard some misconceptions about why birds don't get electrocuted when they sit on power lines. Some people believe that birds' feathers act as perfect insulators, preventing the electricity from flowing through them. They think that these feathers create a barrier that keeps the bird safe. While feathers are good insulators to some extent, they wouldn't be enough to protect a bird from a high-voltage power line. The voltage is simply too high for feathers to offer complete protection. The real reason, as we've discussed, is the incomplete circuit. Electricity needs a path to flow through, and if the bird is only touching one wire, the circuit remains incomplete. Another myth is that birds are somehow immune to electricity. This simply isn't true. Birds can and do get electrocuted if they touch two wires or a wire and another grounded object. Birds, like any other living creature, are susceptible to electric shocks. They are not immune to the dangers of electricity. It's the specific circumstances of perching on a single wire that keep them safe, not any special immunity. As long as they don't complete the circuit, they remain unharmed. It's crucial to remember that what works for birds definitely doesn't work for humans. Touching a power line is incredibly dangerous and can be fatal. Unlike birds, we are usually standing on the ground, offering electricity an easy path to complete the circuit and flow through us to the earth. Even brushing against a power line can have disastrous consequences. Our bodies are much better conductors of electricity than air, meaning the current would flow readily through us, causing severe burns or even stopping our hearts. The sight of birds perched on power lines serves as a reminder that electricity follows specific rules. These rules are not just for the birds, but for all of us to understand and respect. While fascinating to observe, it's crucial to remember that electricity is a powerful force that should always be treated with caution and respect. Its invisible nature makes it even more dangerous, as we often forget its presence until it's too late. Never attempt to touch or tamper with power lines or electrical equipment. Even a momentary lapse in judgment can lead to severe consequences. Always assume that power lines are live and dangerous, even if they appear dormant. This assumption can be a lifesaver, preventing accidents and injuries. Understanding the basics of electricity and its potential dangers is essential for everyone, ensuring our safety and appreciation for the wonders of the natural world. Knowledge is power, and in this case, it can save lives. And remember, leave the high wire act to the birds. They have mastered it, but for us it's a risk not worth taking.